Going. Okay, sit yourself onto your left and then come into a good cross-legged position. Just sit with levelness at the seat bones. Just have a little wriggle about, make sure that you're sitting evenly, and hold onto your knees. Lift up into the chest, elevate the heart area upwards and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Just spend a few moments to just feel how you can lift and open the chest, drawing the shoulders down away from your ears. So look down at the floor, look at something that doesn't move. Fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying your lungs from the top to the bottom. As you inhale, feel that the air touches the lining of the lungs. Aim to breathe into the armpit chest, into the front chest, into the back chest. Ensuring that the breath touches all the corners of the lungs. Let the intercostal muscles between the ribs relax while you inhale. Allow them to expand and just to relax with the out-breath. Let the intercostal muscles expand with the in-breath. And relax with the out-breath. So just being conscious of the feeling of the breath touching the lungs and the consciousness of the expansion of the chest and the relaxation of the chest with the out-breath. Release your knees, bring your hands into Namaste, press the palms firmly together. Take a deep inhalation and then allow your out-breath to close your eyes. Allow your eyes to close with the out-breath. Aim to take deep, non-resistant inhalations and relaxed exhalations. Inhalations filling the lungs consciously from the bottom to the top. Allowing the air to touch the lining of the lungs in the armpit chest, in the back chest and in the front chest. Aiming to breathe in 3 dimensions. With an exhalation, draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest, lifting the chest up to meet the chin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. And then gently raise your head and allow your eyes to softly open. Hold onto your knees. Lift up into your chest, elevating the heart area upwards, and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the right with the following exhalation. Drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. Observe that as you turn, if your arms are too close into the armpit chest, it can minimize the inhalation. So try and bend your elbows out to the sides a little so that when you inhale, you can inhale right into the armpit chest without any restriction. Use the out breath to intensify the turn. Come back to the center, hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. Breathing into the armpit chest, into the back chest, into the front chest. And with an exhalation, turn to the left. Again, bending your elbows out to the sides, digging the back hand into the floor so that you remain on the front edge of the seat bone. Each inhalation be a unique moment in time. Let each exhalation be an opportunity to move a little more deeply into the pose. And then gently come back to the center. Just hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest. Observe how your body feels different. Just from that simple breathing and turning. Maybe the shoulder blade region feels a little more alive. Maybe the shoulders or the arms feel a little more awake. Just come off your lift and sit yourself down onto your heels. Have the big toes together and your knees apart. Press the shins into the floor and elevate the heart area upwards. Come forwards, hinging at the hips. Have the knees wide enough apart so that you can draw the abdomen through, but not too wide so that you just collapse. Keep the seat bones down on the heels. Before you drop your head, just focus on the breath. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, emptying them from the top to the bottom. And then bring your forehead down. Now this pose when your especially when your forehead comes down, the breath feels different. Breath feels different. It feels maybe a little more restricted, so try to expand in the abdomen, even if the abdomen is restricted by the thighs. If you find that the breath is overly restricted, put a block underneath your head. Keep the seat bones down on the heels. Observe that feeling of expansion in the chest as you inhale. Feel the air touching the lining of the lungs. Breathe into the back chest as well as the front chest. Consciously lengthening into the arms, pressing the seat bones down on the heels at the same time. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up into just sitting back on your heels in virasana. And again, just spend a moment to observe how the body is waking up, how the feeling of energetic lightness starts to bloom into the limbs. So we should be aware of the outcome of the pose, because this is why we do the pose, to wake up our energy, especially if the physical body feels tired or if the mental body feels tired. Come up onto your knees, have your little fingers on the edge of the mat, stretch your thumbs towards each other, press the palms into the floor, have the feet as wide apart as the mat, and then come up into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Initially with bent knees so that you can tilt the tailbone up to the ceiling and then straighten those legs. Just go back to the breath, feeling that you can fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. The air touches the lining of the lungs in 3 dimensions. So often when we breathe, when we breathe just in normal everyday life, our breath is typically shallow. In yoga, we can spend a little more time just relaxing enough to allow the breath to be deep. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Activate the legs as you would normally in dog down. And just get the breath, consciousness prioritized. From holding in the pose for too long, then just rest if you need to, or just stay and maintain if you can, just focusing on just that breath, that full breath. Step your feet forwards, just come up into a standing position, and then just come into Tadasana for a moment. Just be in Tadasana and observe how your energy has changed, how the body has woken up a little, how your energy has changed. So I want everyone to, rather than half Uttanasana, traditional half Uttanasana, I want you to bring your feet wide apart, and I want you to have something to bring your hands onto. So you come forwards, hinging at the hips like this, and then that gives you a particular action that we can use later on. So bring the feet wider than hip width apart, as wide apart as your mat would be, and turn your toes in. Have your hands on your hips, lift up into the chest, and then stretch your arms away. Press the little finger side of the hand onto the lift, and then activate the legs. So the lift should be hip height if possible, and then you can press the little finger side of the hand onto the top of onto whatever it is that you're pressing your hands onto, and then lift the chest. Work to really elevate the heart area upwards, tighten the kneecaps, turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. And then hit the legs away, but keep the hands pressing down on the lift so that the side ribs extend. Breathe into the lungs, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, feeling the experience of the breath touching the sides of the lungs. Breathing into the back chest as well as the front chest, breathing into the armpit chest. From here, as long as there are no back problems, you can reach down and find the floor, or you can bring the thumbs into the crease of the elbows, wrap your fingers around your elbows, and then hang down. If this feels too strong for your back, just go back to the lift. Let the body hang down. But stay with that breath, that deep breath, where the lungs and the breath interact, where you can breathe into the armpit chest, where you can breathe into the back chest, where you can feel the air touching the lining of the lungs. If that doesn't feel good, then just breathe normally. But aim for deep inhalations and exhalations. Release your hands down to the floor, just come back into half uttanasana. Keeping the legs straight, and then drop onto a standing. Bring your hands into your hips, come up into standing, and then come back into tadasana. Observe how your energy has changed, how your body has changed. Observe how your body has woken up. Just listening to the sound of the inhalation and the exhalation. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards the chest, and then step or jump the feet nice and wide. Turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out, and then rotate those legs. Turn the legs outwards, fronts of the thighs outwards, remembering that corkscrew action all the way down. So from the front of the leg around to the back of the leg, from the back of the leg to the front, corkscrewing all the way down to the leg. So especially with this front leg, but also activate it with the back leg. Reach down, find your shin, look up. Just be with that breath, feel the body in 3 dimensions. Feel the breath in 3 dimensions. Feel that the front leg is consciously corkscrewing, the back leg hitting towards the wall behind you. So the more that front leg corkscrews, the more the front leg buttock bone squeezes forwards. Breathe in through the nose, feeling the air touching the lungs. Observing how it feels different. If it feels heavy in that right leg, then activate the left leg. Corkscrew it, press the heel down. Remember last week when we were using the block as the wall? Activate that leg, push that back foot into the wall. Reach up, come back to the center, swap the feet around, turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out. Corkscrew those legs. Take a deep inhalation and then come down with the exhalation. Turning the chest, looking up. Just feeling the body in 3 dimensions. Feeling that the head is directly over the foot. If you're not sure, or if you just want to make sure, just look down. If your head is over your foot, then it's in the right place. If it's not, then squeeze the front leg buttock bone in. Lift the chest. Keep that back leg firmly activated. Feel the air touching the lungs. Come back to the center. Bring your feet parallel. And then step or jump. Feet back together. Come back into Tadasana. Observe how your energy has changed. How your body changes with each pose. Observing how with each pose the consciousness of the body changes. Maybe with each pose we feel we can see the body in 3 dimensions through the feeling of the pose more vividly. Just listen to the breath. Listen to the inhalation and the exhalation. Again, just feeling the lungs expand with the breath, feeling the air touching the lining of the lungs. Bring your arms out nice and wide, in towards the chest, and then step or jump the feet nice and wide. And then bring your hands onto your hips. Turn your right toes in steeply, so more steeply than for trikonasana, and then turn the right foot all the way out. And so we want to turn the hips towards that front leg, so that the hips are parallel with the front edge of the mat. Pick up the back heel and turn that heel out a little, all the way. So that then you can bring your hands onto your hips and the hips feel level. You've got to really corkscrew this back leg. Turn the front thigh inwards, but feel the back of the thigh broaden outwards. Lift up into the chest. Raise your arms to the sides and then up to the ceiling, and then bend the front knee. Find a right angle, but reach up to the ceiling with the arms. Find the right angle. You might have to creep further away with the foot a little. Bend that knee, find a right angle. Keep corkscrewing that back leg. Lift from the hips, keeping the hips level, lifting the hips up into the armpits. Keeping that back leg dead straight, tightening the kneecap deeply. Breathing into the lungs. Keeping that back leg corkscrewing so that the hips feel level. And then straighten the leg, come back to the centre. Just bring your hands onto your hips. Feel the energy, filling the chest. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe observe how your breath has changed. Turn your right toes in steeply. Rotate on the left foot. And then pick up the heel. Turn the heel all the way out of that back leg. And bring your hands onto the hips. The hips need to be level in order to get the most out of this pose. So again, corkscrew that back leg, turn the front of the leg inwards from the little toe side to the big toe side, turn the back of the thigh outwards in that corkscrew action. Your hands on your hips, lift from the chest, lift from the abdomen to the chest. Reach out, reach up, and then bend the front knee, find a right angle. Keep that back leg straight. Keep that back leg straight, the kneecap firmly tightened. Even if the heel lifts, extend into the heel. Keep the hips level, consciously corkscrewing that back leg. Finding that right angle. Lifting out of the hips into the armpits, lifting from the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone. Feeling the air touching the lungs. And then come back to the center. Take a deep inhalation and then step or jump the feet back together. Come back into Tadasana. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Listening to the breath. Stretch your arms out in front, turn the palms all the way out, reach behind you, bring the hands into namaskarasana. Just bring the tips of the fingers together and then walk the hands up towards the neck as much as you can. Then lengthen from the shoulders into the elbows into the heels of the hands. Winging the elbows back so that the palms come together. And then breathe. Fill in the lungs from the bottom to the top. Corkscrewing the legs. Just listening to the breath. And then very gently release your hands, spread your fingers, spread your palms, and then turn your palms all the way out. Just focus on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Empty your lungs from the top to the bottom. One more time, stretch your arms forwards, turn the palms, and then bring the hands into namaskarasana. It helps sometimes to drop the chest as you bring the fingers together and then walk the hands up the back. It helps to just bring the hands a bit higher and then lift the chest. Wing the elbows back, consciously lengthen from the shoulders into the elbows and then push the elbows into the heels of the hands. If you can't do namaskarasana, you can just get hold of the opposite elbow behind your back. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, turning the fronts of the legs inwards, corkscrewing those legs inwards, tucking the tailbone in, drawing the belly button to the spine. Just feel the Air touching the lungs. Feel the chest expand with the in-breath. And then gently release your hands, spread your fingers. Turn the palms all the way out, rotating the upper arms in the sockets. Just observe how your energy has changed. Listen to the breath. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Fill in the lungs, emptying them. Okay, and then release. Just come down onto your knees, just sit back on your heels for a moment, just observe how the physical body is feeling right now. Press the shins consciously into the floor, press the shin bone into the shin skin so that the thighs activate. Lift up into the chest and then come forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana, just stretching out the back, but keeping the head lifted initially, keeping the chest lifted initially. And then bring the forehead down, but if that restricts the breath, and it often does, then use a block underneath your head. It can be on the high end, on the lower end, but just use something to maintain the space for your breath. Bring the hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up into a seated position. Just sit back on your heels and observe your energy. Just observe how your energy has changed. And then get a bolster for your back. Have a folded blanket for your head. And then just come down into supta, baddha konasana. Pulling the feet in towards the seat bones, letting the knees fall apart. Don't be too close to the bolster. Have a couple of centimetres between the seat bones and the bolster. And then push your hands into the floor. And then consciously lengthen the spine as you guide yourself down along the bolster. And then bring your head down onto the blanket. So just assess how this feels for your back. If it's a bit pinchy in the lumbar, then sit yourself up and move your seat bones a little bit further away from the bolster. So it really depends on your bolster as well. Mine, this is quite an old bolster, it goes flat at the bottom, which is actually quite nice for this pose. So just spend a few moments just assessing whether this is the pose that you're going to be able to stay in. changing if necessary. If the blanket underneath your head doesn't feel like it's holding your head up sufficiently, then fold it up again. Because sometimes it feels like your head is rolling back, and you don't want that for this pose. So support the head so that the neck can be soft. So we have been working through the first stage of Ujjayi pranayama all the way through the session so far. This sensation that we become conscious of the breath. We become conscious of the expansion of the inhalation, the relaxation of the exhalation. It's feeling that we can breathe evenly into both lungs. And at this stage, just observe if you are breathing evenly into both lungs. And if you're not, then aim to correct it. Exhale evenly from both lungs. So breathe from the bottom to the top of the lungs. Exhale from the top to the bottom of the lungs, exhaling evenly from both lungs, inhaling evenly into both lungs. So if you can feel that there is an imbalance in that breath, then aim to address it. So just normal breathing at the moment, but maybe your breath just becomes a little deeper because of the conscious observation. But just normal breathing at this stage. Breathing evenly into both lungs, evenly out of both lungs. And we're going to incorporate a little bit of Viloma pranayama. So rather than breathing from the bottom of the lungs, feel that the in-breath comes from the perineum at the base of the spine, just by the tailbone. Breathe in from the perineum up towards the collarbone. And exhale from the collarbone down, all the way down towards the perineum. So that apanic breath. Breathe in from the base of the spine up to the top of the spine. Exhaling from collarbone down towards the perineum. So the first stage of Viloma pranayama is with a normal exhalation and an interrupted in-breath. So we're walking, almost like we're walking up a ladder as we inhale. We're walking up a ladder, and then As you inhale, you stop for a moment without exhaling. And you breathe up, breathe in a little more, just walking up the next rung of the ladder. And you stop for a moment. And you can really breathe in a little more. And you continue in that interrupted manner until the lungs are full. And then just follow that with a normal out breath. So you can either do intermittent cycles, one cycle of Viloma, and then just several cycles of normal breath, or you can do continual cycle. So when you're ready, just some normal breaths, a normal out breath, a normal in breath, a normal out breath, another normal in breath. And then a normal out breath, and then we will begin. Just interrupting the in-breath like walking up a ladder until the lungs are full, and then follow that with normal exhalations. So whenever you're ready. So it's just a suspension, never a grip. It's an only hold for a second or two, never too long. And just relax into that moment of suspension. Just ensuring that you continue to breathe into both arms evenly, that you just listen to the breath with normal exhalations. Just remembering that there should never be any tension, that the holding stage of the breath, the kumbhaka, is just almost a passive suspension, just where you're neither breathing in nor out. Just one more cycle. So I said at the beginning when we did uttanasana with the hands on the lift, and when you were pushing your legs away and feeling the length of the side ribs, that we would bring that back into the sequence. Now is that time just to feel that the side ribs are long, that the sides of the torso are extended. Just one more Viloma inhalation, and then we'll go back to normal breathing. and just go back to normal breathing, normal inhalations, normal exhalations. So Viloma pranayama just allows the body to really absorb the energy within the breath. If it's become a bit intense to stay in supta baddha konasana, then straighten your legs out. Straighten your legs out. Stay on the bolster. And stay in supta baddha konasana if you prefer. Just stretch your legs out, just normal breaths. So that's just stage 1 of Viloma pranayama. We don't have time to do stage 2, unfortunately, but stage 2 is where you interrupt the out breath and the normal in breath. And stage 3 is where you interrupt both. That can be quite intense. But just that first stage is plenty to get your energy really flowing into the body. Push your elbows into the floor and then just push yourself up into cross legs. Just come into cross legs, holding onto the knees. And then maybe stretch forwards, lengthening forwards, have some blocks under your hands if you need them. Just stretching out your back. Just listening to the breath. Come back to the centre. Consciously hold onto your knees. Draw the lumbar spine in towards the front chest. Lift the heart area to the ceiling. Drawing your shoulders down. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side. Drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. Feel that the seat bones are evenly placed. And then come back to the centre. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest. And then turn to the left. Digging the back hand into the floor, turning the abdomen, turning the ribs, turning the shoulders. Feeling that the seat bones are level, just in the position of the torso if necessary. Keep breathing into the side ribs. And then very gently come back to the centre. Just to finish off, we're going to briefly go into just a very brief viparita, karanhi, and then into supta, and then to sirvasana. So just bring the bolster underneath your back, gather the shoulder blades together, and then raise your legs up to the ceiling. We're not going to stay very long, we don't have that much time left, but just a gentle inversion just helps to quieten the brain. And again, it just gives us an opportunity to feel the breath. So feel the lungs from the bottom to the top. Feel that the chest expands with the in-breath. Let the intercostal muscles between the ribs expand with the in-breath. Feel the air touching the lining of the lungs. Okay, bend your knees, bring your feet back down onto the floor, roll the bolster away, Just lift the seat bones, roll the bolster away, have the bolster underneath the backs of your knees, and then just have the arms out to the sides of the body a little, just so that you can still expand into the armpit chest. Let the body completely relax into the floor. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Unhooking them so that the body becomes heavy on the floor. Observe as you relax into the ground that feeling of almost fizzy lightness radiating from the bones into the muscles. Radiating from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. Spreading a penetrating lightness throughout the organs. Into the flesh and the skin, using your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness. And then when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and then bring your feet onto the bolster. Have the feet together, the knees apart. Just resting your back into the floor. And then just gently roll onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs with your hands in the masti, your final spinal lift. Drawing the breath this time down into the abdomen. The samanic breath that just brings your consciousness into your energy. Be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this morning. A good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the inversions and the pranayama bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then, when you're ready, just send some of that energy out into the world. Sending some of that energy into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. Just a gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry into our day as an intention. Raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you. So hopefully you feel like you've really transformed your energy through extension and through breath work, giving yourself good, positive energy to put into your day.